And we are live. Good morning, everyone, from a balmy northern Minnesota. 35 degrees at 5 a.m. That's why everyone up here is hockey players. I know we got football starting, but hockey up here. 60 days ago-ish, 70 days, let's say 70 days ago, 4th of July weekend, 90-degree temps, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We look ahead 70 days. We're going to be closer to Thanksgiving. Many of the parks in northern Minnesota will have outdoor hockey rinks already up and running, and that's why hockey is king in Minnesota. The Intercontinental Classic coming up this weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about some of the fairy picks because this is an invite only. Talk about some of the screw jobs. Talk a little about who's coming in hot, who has improved a lot since their last invite race, which was the stream back in June. But before we get to that, we want to talk a little bit about our friends. First at Weir's Machine, WEHRS, Weir'sMachine.com. All kinds of parts, especially trickery parts, everything you can think of. Get a hold of Weir'sMachine.com. They've kind of got it all. If you're looking for something weird or something to give you that little bit of an edge, something odd, that certain widget, Weir'sMachine.com. And then up here in the North Line, your full-service parts supplier, Dirt Track Supply, also home of the Aero chassis. All the major brands, everything's in stock. Fantastic service. Get a hold of Trevor over there at DirtTrackSupply.com. All right. So we put together the invite list. Basically, we've got the World 100 coming up this weekend, right? It's one of the biggest weekends in dirt light model racing, if not the biggest, typically when it's the Dream. Fantastic facility there in Eldora. Really the only difference this year, obviously no fans. And then you had to be on the invite list to make it. And that invite list, obviously there's some controversy. One of the names that came up right away, Billy Moyer Jr. Now, Billy Moyer Jr., my co-host on the One to Go Show, the One to Go Show podcast, Facebook show, YouTube, check it out. One of my co-hosts, Ryan Ailes, has said in the past, what has Billy Moyer Jr. done in racing besides being Billy Moyer Sr.'s child? And not that he's some horrible racer, but you had a guy like Hudson O'Neal, who's also a second-generation driver. Now, Hudson, pretty good year last year, jumped over to that Mastersville this year. Mastersville trying to reinvigorate themselves. Was pretty brutal. Has run well now the last couple of weeks, as now he's running for his girlfriend's parents. So he's run a lot better. And on the original list, now this was back when he was running the Mastersville, Hudson O'Neal out, Billy Moyer Jr. in. Now, Billy Moyer Jr. had a top 5 this weekend with the Lucas, but what, even leading up to the original invite list, early August, what had Billy Moyer Jr. done? Another couple people on the list, Matt Miller. We do the One to Go Show every week. Haven't seen Matt Miller's name really anywhere. And Steve Casebolt. Now, Casebolt won the Dream back in 2007. He ran some national stuff. Hasn't even raced much this year. I know he won a regional race, a month, maybe a little bit over a month ago. But Max Blair is a guy that was left off the original list. Max Blair, back at the end of June, won one of the prelim nights of the Firecracker with the World of Outlaws. You had Bishop in the crowd. You had Kay Dillard in the crowd. You had Weiss in the crowd. You have some top runners. What is going on there? So very interesting the way they're putting together this list. Now the Moyers, I guess, can't make it anyway. They got a funeral coming up. They had a relative die up in Iowa. So obviously this list is evolving just a little bit. Remember, it's Wednesday today. Obviously, the short week with Labor Day Monday. Racing starts tomorrow night. So be tuned into Flow to catch everything over there at the Intercontinental Classic / the World 100. All right, now, one of the highlights we're going to see, obviously Overton, Shepard, Owens, all on the big stage together, 3 of the hottest drivers all year. I want to talk about who's really gotten better since the last invite race in June at Eldora, known as the Stream. So let's go with who's not hot and move on to who's hot. So obviously one of the biggest stories of the year is Ricky Weiss. So, football starts Thursday night. You've got, we're kicking off, and obviously the 49ers lost to the Chiefs last year in the Super Bowl. Not a huge football guy. Like I said, we're hockey people up here. But I don't have to know that the 49ers were the runners-up last year. Back in 2019, Ricky Weiss was the runner-up for the World of Outlaw title. So if the 49ers don't make the playoffs or maybe get eliminated in the first round, probably a little bit of a disappointment. I think a lot of people coming in this year thought, hey, this could be Ricky's year. Maybe Ricky's going to take this championship. He's in a Bloomquist. Madden had such a great, special season last year starting in August. He just basically won it all. He ran through that winter series, the Dryden Extreme Winter Series, kicks off in Vado. I think he wins opening night in January. So everyone's thinking, hey, maybe this is Ricky's year. Now, has Ricky's year been terrible? Absolutely not. He's still sitting second in points in the World of Outlaw Late Model Series. But the expectation was something that maybe, he's going to really compete for a championship. He's 200-ish, 250-ish points behind Shepard. That thing's pretty much sewed up. Going into the stream, I'm sure there were people that would have placed a bet on Ricky saying Ricky's got a shot to win. Is anybody really going to look at Ricky now and say he's got a good shot to win this weekend? Probably not. So making the show, probably. I mean, the guy is really grounded out this year, right? I mean, he can't qualify. He starts deep, but he's managed to stay second in points. So the season hasn't been a complete throwaway, but I don't know if it's meeting expectations. Just like if the 49ers didn't make the playoffs, I don't think they're going to meet expectations. Ricky's last win came in Jackson, Minnesota on May 22nd. So it's been a long time for the 7 car. Another guy that came into the stream with high expectations was Shannon Babb. Shannon Babb had just did that deal with Bloomquist, get into a Bloomquist car. Those cars have not only run well in long races and on half miles, but they've run really well in Eldora. Babb's had a couple of local wins, but, how about Babb's season? Probably, again, a little bit on the disappointing side. I'm not expecting much from Shannon Babb coming up here at the stream. And then, of course, the 800-pound gorilla is Scott Bloomquist. Now, again, my co-host Ryan Ho said he did not, I didn't look this up, I'm taking Ryan's word for it, that Bloomquist did not make any of the 3 shows at the stream. He did not qualify for any of the 3 shows. So the question is Scott Bloomquist going to be able to qualify for any of these shows coming up in Eldora? A guy who has completely dominated, a guy who has literally taken millions and millions of dollars out of that, well, not millions and millions, but over $1 million in purse money from Eldora. Is he going to even make one of the prelim nights or the big show on Saturday night? So, again, expectations. I don't think anybody expected Bloomquist to have such a terrible year. Droop rule will be in effect. This thing is sanctioned by World Racing Group. Goodbye, Tyler Erb. Not going to be in there this year. So those are some of the guys that are more on the disappointing side. Now, who has improved? Who are we looking at? Like you said, the aforementioned Brandon Overton. Brandon Overton won one of the prelim nights back in June. He came in hot. He's remained hot. He isn't running all the national stuff, but every night he's in a race, he's a threat. He's won 4 World of Outlaw races here in the last 5 weeks. The guy, like I said, he's hot. Started it off at Cedar Lake there and is continuing it. Another World Racing Group guy or World of Outlaw guy is Ashton Winger, a guy running for that Rookie of the Year title and a lot of top 5s in the last 6 to 8 weeks. The guy has really improved, so maybe he'll really have a breakout here at Eldora. Will he win the big one? I wouldn't bet on that. Could he win a prelim night? I certainly think so. Another guy, Cade Dillard, keeps getting better and better in that late model. I would say keep an eye on him to continue to improve. Billy Moyer, the veteran, obviously not going to be there, but a guy that, great run at Cedar Lake, great run, almost captured the topless a couple of weeks ago, right at his home track in Batesville. Unfortunately, he's not going to be there, but it would have been really fun to watch Billy there at the World 100. Chris Madden, so, starts off the year with the big win in Vado, goes on a long, dry spell. Remember, Madden was supposed to start the stream on the pole, couldn't get the car to fire. They're literally staging, and Madden can't get out there. Obviously leaves Bloomquist, jumps in on that Southern Nationals has 4 wins, according to my notes. 4 wins. Now, some people say, well, he's racing against the JV League. Well, he's racing against Overton every night. So, but now he's gotten a little bit quiet now the last couple of weeks, changed teams again. So Chris Madden is a real X factor here coming into the weekend. We'll see how that goes. And now one thing also to keep in mind, during the stream, it was a Longhorn sweep. And the one last guy I want to talk about is Kyle Strickler, the high side tickler, in a Longhorn, getting better all the time. Won one of the prelim nights. I think he won the first night. Overton won the second night. Then, of course, T-Mac wins the big one. And T-Mac, basically from the stream until the last couple of weeks, you know, his season was kind of a V. Started out really good. Started at a great Florida. Then he just dove down, probably reached the bottom basement about July 10th. Started picking things up, and he's had a really good August. But the Longhorns did the sweep. But Strickler, you know, has gotten better. More seat time in that late model. Talked to him a little bit at the USA Nationals in Cedar Lake. Loves the late model. Said they're tricky. Said if you're a little bit off, it's tough. But, you know, he's put together some good runs. Obviously has a win there. Going to come in with a lot of confidence. So we will see what happens with Strickler this weekend. Like I said, today is Wednesday. Start racing tomorrow night. Remember, it's not Tuesday due to Labor Day. It is Wednesday. All right. Final thought. Football starts tomorrow night, same time as the stream. Minnesota guy. Got the Minnesota Vikings, one of the most disappointing franchises in all of pro sports. Just want to let you all know, we'll talk about this come Christmas time. I am taking the under on the Vikings making the playoffs. That's right. I am taking the under on the Vikings making the playoffs this year. All right, you also check out the stream. We will catch you on the next video and get you going this fall for the rest of the specials and get you going on the football season. Take care, everyone.